Now this is more like it. Recently, MCC received a new update, and while it's nothing too crazy, it's not gonna completely revive the game or anything like that, but there were a lot of cool things within this update. One of the more notable things would be Flood Firefight for Halo 3 ODST. There is now a new Original Plus option for the medals in Halo 3, and what this does is it adds 3 new medals: a Assist medal, Headshot medal, and Super Combine medal. And while that is a small addition, I do think it is really cool. I can play Halo 3 with the original medals, plus these 3 new medals. A bunch of new skulls have been added to the Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST campaign, and the Acrophobia skull was added to the Halo 2 campaign. Campaign crossplay is finally available, but only for Halo 3 and the Halo 3 ODST campaign. I hope eventually they add crossplay for all the other campaigns within the collection, because this is something I would utilize. At one point I did want to play through all the campaigns co-op with a buddy, but he plays on Xbox and I was playing on PC and we couldn't do it. Another big thing that came with this update is that the custom game browser now supports every game in the MCC. Previously it was just Halo CE, Halo Reach, and Halo 3, but now it also supports Halo 2 Classic, Halo 2 Anniversary, and Halo 4. And I am actually pretty excited that Halo 2 Classic has finally been added to this custom game browser, because something I've been playing recently is Halo 2 Project Cartographer, which is basically like a modded version of Halo 2 Vista, and I would hop on the game, join a server, and play some Halo 2. But now I can do that on MCC, and while there are several benefits to playing Halo 2 Project Cartographer over Halo 2 MCC, Halo 2 in the Master Chief Collection does look a whole hell of a lot better than it does on Project Cartographer. Ever since Halo 2 MCC received the update to its visuals about 5 or 6 months ago, the game has looked absolutely beautiful. I mean, every time I play Halo 2 on the Master Chief Collection, I am surprised by how good it looks. I never really took the time to appreciate those visual improvements that they made to the game several months ago. And the purpose of those improvements were to get Halo 2 in the collection to align more with the visuals of OG Halo 2 on the Xbox. And I'd say they did a pretty good job with that. Something else they mentioned in the blog for this update, which is currently not in the game but might be coming later on, is they might be adding the MOA collectibles to the other campaigns within the MCC. Currently, they only added it to Halo 3's campaign, and there are these little like hidden MOAs around the levels that you can shoot, and that's nothing too special, but it is cool. So as I mentioned before, one of the biggest things that were added with this update was Flood Firefight for Halo 3 ODST. But they didn't just replace the Covenant enemies with Flood. No, they made other improvements as well, which makes this update really cool. So first off, the Flood in Flood Firefight can now drive vehicles. And this is the first time Flood can drive vehicles since Halo 2, which is pretty cool. They also added new Flood combat forms. They added the Infected Civilian, the Infected ODST, and the Infected Elite Major. The Elite Major has red armor, which looks really good. What's cool about the Infected ODST is that when you die as an ODST or one of your teammates die, if there's infection forms around, they will infect your dead body and turn you into a Flood ODST, and it will use the weapon that you died with. They also added fog and particles that float around when you're fighting the Flood in Firefight. And these effects will always be there if you're just fighting the Flood, but if you're playing variants of Firefight where you fight some waves of Flood and some waves of Covenant, then during a Flood round, the fog will creep in with the Flood. So, that's really cool update. There's new options to enable additional weapon racks on the map that will hold assault rifles and battle rifles. On some of the maps you will find flamethrowers, and 343 added allies to certain maps as well, like Marines or NMPD officers or even elites will drop down and assist you in fighting the Flood. There was also a bunch of other things included with this update, like several bug fixes, but these were the more notable things that I wanted to discuss. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this update isn't anything too crazy. Like, it's not going to completely revive the game. People are not flooding back to MCC in droves. Nah, it's not that kind of an update, but it is a cool update. And it's an update that I appreciate and I am finding enjoyment in. And at this point right now, I don't see why anyone would choose Halo Infinite over the Master Chief Collection other than Halo Infinite being free. But currently on Steam and Xbox, the Master Chief Collection is 60% off, so that is $16 USD, and the MCC is also on Game Pass if you have that. So $16 is an incredible price for a game with that much content. MCC is jam-packed, full of content. I can't even think of another game that has that much content. That many campaigns, that many multiplayers, that many multiplayer like, it's insane. And then you have Halo Infinite sitting over there with tons of issues and is bare bones as fuck. So other than Infinite being free, I really don't see much reason to play that over the MCC. Yeah, Infinite is a newer experience. You know, the games within the MCC are older games, but something like Flood Firefight, which just got added, is a new experience. And we'll probably see other cool things added to the MCC going forward. And just think about all the things you can do on the MCC that you can on Halo Infinite. If you want to play through the campaigns co-op with some buddies, or cross-play co-op for Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST, well, you can do all that on the Master Chief Collection. Halo Infinite doesn't even have co-op campaign. And I know I just said Halo Infinite was free, but only the multiplayer's free. You have to pay for the campaign. Currently, I think Halo Infinite's on sale for like $48 right now. Or you could play Halo Infinite on Game Pass, but if you wanted to buy the game, that's $48. And you can't even play co-op campaign. And MCC is only $16 right now, and you can play co-op campaign through all the campaigns. 4-player co-op for some of them, 4-player cross-play co-op for Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST. Or you could just buy a singular game in the MCC, which they're currently on sale for $4. Halo 3 ODST is $2. If you want to play Firefight, you cannot do that in Halo Infinite because it is currently not in the game. But in Halo, the Master Chief Collection, you have Halo 3 ODST Firefight, you have Halo Reach Firefight, and now you have the new Flood Firefight update for Halo 3 ODST. And Halo 3 ODST also saw other improvements, I believe, in the past to its Firefight, where they added like elites as enemies or sentinels. If you're somebody that likes Forge, you're not getting that with Halo Infinite because Forge is currently not in the game, and it looks like it's still going to be several months out. Who knows how long that's going to be? Season 2 might be 6 months. We don't know. So yeah, Forge could be further out for Halo Infinite than we previously thought. But in MCC, you have Forge for Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 4, Halo 3, and Halo Reach. In MCC, theater mode is not a broken mess like it is in Halo Infinite. You have a lot more variety with custom games in the MCC compared to Halo Infinite. In MCC, you have a progression system, a lot more customization options, more playlists, a match composer, and there are various other things available and possible in MCC that are not with Halo Infinite. And I just want to reiterate one more time that MCC has multiple campaigns, multiple multiplayers, multiple forges. It is a game jam-packed full of content. And Halo Infinite is a bare bones, sorry excuse for a Halo game. Now, in my last video, I talked a little bit about how when I look back on the older Halo games now, or I play them, you know, I feel more of a somber type of mood. Several years ago, when I would play the older Halo games, it would bring me, you know, more joy. But now, when I'm playing these older games, or I'm thinking about them, I just can't stop thinking about the missed opportunities. The thought of what Halo could have been keeps creeping into my mind. So like, For example, when I was playing this new Flood Firefight update in the MCC, you know, at first I was enjoying it. I'm like, man, this is really cool. But then a different type of feeling hit me, and I just kept thinking, man, we could have had this many years ago. We probably should have had this way back in the day. And the fact that we're just now getting a Flood Firefight in 2022, this is the first time we're getting Flood in Firefight? It's kind of crazy. Like, think about it. Firefight was introduced in Halo 3 ODST 2009, and then in 2010, only about a year later, Bungie made significant improvements and added a ton of customization to Firefight for Halo Reach. That was like about a year in between ODST's Firefight and Reach's Firefight. And just think about all the things Bungie added to Halo Reach's Firefight in that time. And so I feel like the next step would have been something like a Flood Firefight. You know, like that probably should have been what we got with Halo 4. But instead, Halo 4 didn't even have Firefight. And then Halo 5 still doesn't have traditional Firefight. It didn't have it at launch. Later on, it got the Warzone Firefight update, but again, that's not traditional Firefight. Does not have the customization that you had with Halo Reach Firefight, and it's only a playlist in Halo 5. So, as far as I see it, Halo 5 doesn't even have Firefight. Halo Infinite didn't launch with Firefight, and who knows when or if that's even coming. I don't even know if 343 has even said anything about it. But finally, with MCC in 2022, we now have Flood Firefight. And again, it's cool. I'm enjoying it. But man, I just can't shake the thought that we probably should have had something like this a decade ago. I understand the past is the past. You can't change it, and we can only look forward. And, you know, that's why I am glad that MCC received this update. And, you know, Firefight, Flood Firefight is cool. It's fun. I like it. But it just shouldn't have taken this long. This is something we should have had way back in the day. When it comes to a new Firefight experience in 2022, like, I'm thinking of something more along the lines of larger scale maps, a lot more players. You can play as any of the enemies, any of the Flood or the Covenant in like a Firefight versus type of experience. You know, that's kind of more of what I would expect with a new Firefight experience in 2022. But something as simple as Flood Firefight, while it is cool and I appreciate the update and I'm enjoying it, I do think that is something we should have had way back in the day. And, you know, that's one of Halo's biggest problems as of late. It just takes too long to do things. Yeah, that's been its problem for a while, actually. But anyways, we're gonna leave it there. I just wanted to cover this update because I am enjoying it. I think it's really cool, and I look forward to future updates for the MCC. Halo Infinite is in a very strange spot right now because MCC is getting cool updates, and Halo Infinite is in a terrible spot, isn't getting much of anything, and we don't even know how long Season 2 is going to be. It might actually be 6 months, maybe not. Forge could be further out than we previously thought, and yeah, Halo Infinite is just not in a good spot. And then meanwhile, MCC is getting these cool updates, and it's jam-packed full of content. So again, yeah, I don't really see much reason to choose Halo Infinite over the MCC. But anyways, we're going to leave it there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.